Thomas Jefferson's famed Monticello, located just outside of Charlottesville, Virginia, is revered as a masterpiece of architecture. Standing with measurements of approximately 110 feet long, 88 feet wide, and 95 feet high, and containing a total of 43 rooms, the mansion gracing the back of the United States nickel is certainly sizable. But many may wonder, what exactly makes it so special? What makes this building stand out among other large places? Does it really deserve its place in history? Construction of Jefferson's residence took place in two separate phases over many years. The first, beginning in 1769 and ending in 1784, was based on Jefferson's original design and led to the completion of the South Pavilion and the north wing of the house. The period saw drastic changes throughout the nation, undergoing the Revolutionary War, which in itself included other notable events such as the Intolerable Acts, Boston Tea Party, Sons and Daughters of Liberty, Second Continental Congress, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and finally the signing of the Treaty of Paris ending the war. The second phase of construction, spanning from 1796 to 1809, saw the remodeling of the existing portions of the house as well as the construction of the North Pavilion and North and South terraces. During this portion of building and renovation, Jefferson was elected as vice president under John Adams in the election of 1796, and later as president of the United States in 1800. When President James Madison took office in 1808, Jefferson retired to live full-time at Monticello. The founding fathers of our country were educated, well-rounded individuals who wanted to bring only the best things from Europe to America. Jefferson consciously sought to create a new form of architecture for a new nation, setting the example by incorporating aspects of traditional European architecture into American buildings. As the new nation was declaring their independence and pulling away from Britain, importing materials from Europe, as had previously been done, became difficult, causing Jefferson to turn locally. Bricks and nails were made at Monticello, stone and limestone were quarried off of Jefferson's land, and timber was brought from other grounds owned by the future president. Windows, which previously would have been imported from England, were made in and imported from Philadelphia. Local masons, carpenters, joiners, and apprentices were hired from the area to complete the wood, stone, and brickwork. As was common during this historical period, Jefferson owned slaves, many of whom were skilled in trade, and they also became integral parts of the building process. A beautiful yet functional residence, Monticello served not only as a plantation, but in its time also included a nailery, gardens for flowers and produce, tobacco fields, quarters along Mulberry Row for domestic slaves, and lots for Jefferson's experiments in plant breeding and mixed crops. Designed as a plantation house, Monticello took the architectural form of a villa, traditionally a style found in Rome. Much of the architecture itself was inspired by buildings Jefferson saw on his trips to Europe. This is especially prominent in the second phase of building, following Jefferson's term as Minister of the United States in France. Throughout his travels there in 1784, he witnessed classical buildings and modern trends in French architecture and was inspired to renovate his own home. In creating his new style of Jeffersonian architecture, Jefferson incorporated numerous attributes traditionally found in European buildings. These features included a central core, red brick construction, symmetrical design, white painted columns and trim, portico entries, large windows, classical molding, the iconic skylit dome, and octagons, just to name a few. These European influences became staples of other American buildings, including many East Coast Protestant churches, Southern colleges, and even famous buildings such as Peabody College, University of Mary Washington, and the University of Virginia. Monticello certainly deserves its place in history and its reputation as a masterpiece. Serving as the residence of one of the nation's founding fathers, this piece put an American spin on European architecture, combining elements of the new and old world to create a new Jeffersonian architecture for the new country.